Okay, I think we're on, and okay, you may be able to hear me now through the stream. Can you hear me now through the stream?
It's chess.
Yes, it's chess. Can you? Here's the thing. I don't know if you can hear me through the stream.
I don't. Ugh. What the hell is wrong with the stupid Xbox app?
Everything is wrong with it, clearly.
I don't hear any game audio though.
Well, there's no game audio yet. It's chess. I mean,
I'm gonna try and play music.
so pure chess, since at this point, I hope, and I hope that everyone can hear me. Pure Chess is one of the two chess games that is, one of the biggest ones available for Xbox. The other one is Chess Ultra. I have them both, and we may do Chess Ultra later on, but Pure Chess came out first, so I wanted to do this one first. And here's the ulterior motive, which Des can't hear me right now, so she can't mock me for it just yet, is that
No.
after earning an achievement in Borderlands 3 sequel there, this will be the 400th game that I have earned an so that'll be awesome.
Headphones.
Which is something that I definitely wanted to do with a game like chess, which is really harkening back to my gaming roots. Chess is quite possibly the first game I learned how to play. So this learn how to play, I don't think I need to worry about that. Chess Ultra has some nice stuff, but Pure Chess is built around some strong competitive play, online play, tournament play, and of course most chess games will have these chess challenges, which is where I spend a lot of my time if I can. Continue. I want to make sure that we have Des in here. Des, can you hear me at all? Okay. Well, I can hear Des, but I don't know if the watchers can hear Des, because I don't know that she ever accepted setting her audio in. So what I need to do for a minute is just check over on PC and see if it's working there.
To keep up a steady stream of talking because I'm having a stupid headset problem.
Des on the stream, I actually can't tell, but I will keep talking for a little while.
Alright, I fixed it.
Yay!
Can
You can hear me? Yay! Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be some quick editing. Welcome back, Des.
Windows was being stupid. I know you can't imagine such a world.
When Windows and Microsoft and Xbox all figure their stuff out, then we know the apocalypse is for real.
This is the singularity. It's coming.
No, because the singularity is a good thing. Alright, so...
Is it?
Well, it's post-humanity, and I don't think that humanity is all that great, so...
Wow, this stream just got really dark, and it's chess, so...
Well, then I should play as black. I was starting this off with the, chess, right? So there's not a whole lot to do. You have the chess challenges, which are always a lot of fun. The downside is that if you're not a good chess player, you can just look up most of the solutions online. I say that as a downside. It's just like any other game. You go to a walkthrough. Is it cheating? It's kind of one of those things. It's tough to say. I like to try and figure them out on my own, and some of them are really puzzling. They can sit there and look at them for a while and not figure it out. But because I'm also an achievement hunter, I know that if I can't figure it out at the end of the day, if it's an achievement tied to it, it'll go to the walkthrough. So that's disappointing. You can play a local game, and you can play online. Most of this game is associated with, if you want the achievements at least, playing a lot of tournaments, if my recollection is right. And I think because of that, I want to avoid playing a tournament tonight. But I can play an online game, it shouldn't be any problem. So if there's anybody out there who wants to play with me, we can do correspondence chess, apparently. Sweet. Wait a minute. Oh. What? What's this?
Whether or not looking up things in a walkthrough is cheating is an interesting conversation to have.
It is. It's actually a subject of a blog post I've got sort of penciled in for, near future, but we can sort of work on it right now. So, auto challenge, I guess. Auto challenge? There was an error connecting to the server. Obviously, I didn't test this out beforehand. Play local then, I guess. Play against the monkey. I don't think that's gonna be very fun. Why would I want to play against the monkey?
I don't know, that sounds hilarious. You should do it.
It would be
See fling poo at you.
Yeah, you like monkeys. Maybe we'll do a monkey anyway. Try one on a monkey. Chess. My current pure chess rating is a 133. Yeah, no, I actually don't think I want to do this. I really want to play online or something, but why can't it just play local? No, play online. Oh, I got somebody. Byron Vidal. I don't know if he's actually real or not, but
You can play with them, see. Can you trash talk each other?
I have no idea. Okay, apparently I'm playing as white, though. That's disappointing. So, we'll talk about some chess theory to start things off. One of the things about chess is you want to build towards the center as much as you can. The center being these 4 squares. You can test them or control them. And the more you have of the center, especially with power positions, then the more you can do. Obviously, a queen on one of these 4 squares is attacking a larger number of the outer squares than a queen on the outside is. So if you control the center and your pieces are in the center, then you can hit more pieces. And that's really the basic point of theory. So your first move in chess should usually be something that attacks the center. Almost always it's going to be one of these middle pawns, 4 middle pawns, forward 1 or 2 spaces, usually 2, and your knight can be advanced as well. But pawns also allow the bishops to come out, so almost always you want to bring either your kingside pawn or your queenside pawn up 2 spots. And this is a pretty standard king's opening.
If Byron's a real person, he probably fell asleep waiting for you to make that move.
Yeah, and especially if he thinks this is like correspondence chess, we may have to come back to it, and it's like, hey, is this a thing? So,
yeah.
I may come back as well. I'm going to fall asleep on him, see how he likes it, although I don't seem to be able to. I can save replay or resume. Do I have a favorite version of video game chess across any platform? I can't say I have a favorite. Chess is both hard to do badly, but it's also one that I've rarely seen done extraordinarily well. When I saw one of the streams of Chess Ultra being done, I was actually really excited about it because it looked good. But like I said at the beginning, I started up Pure Chess here first because I bought it first and because it's been out longer. But I think I'm actually more excited to play Chess Ultra a little bit later on. See, there's no timer on this. I didn't have an option to set one up, I don't think. Options? Audio volume, music genres. Oh, what musical genres do you have? Classical, jazz, chill, and nature.
I have a random trivia about jazz music, actually, that I learned today. There was a serial killer in 1919 in New Orleans called the New Orleans Axeman, and he just broke into people's homes and used their axes to kill them. But he wrote a letter to the
Because of course
paper
everyone has an axe,
that
right?
he wouldn't attack anyone who had a jazz band playing in their house on such and such a night. And so literally everyone in the whole city played either a jazz record or like went out to watch a jazz band or something like that. And he didn't kill anyone. So there you go.
So he had
Chess,
enough control
music.
over his deviation, because a lot of these serial
Um,
killers have
as
deviations
far
that sort of
as
impel
favorite
them to
versions
kill.
of chess, I played probably on the Commodore 64, or no, it would have been on the Apple IIgs. I played battle chess a lot when I was a youngster.
So Ypod says that the idea is to have a bunch of games going on at once. That's correspondence chess in general. But it did seem weird that it told me I had to quit the game in order to keep going, even though it doesn't. I don't know what's going on with that. So let's have a look at the chess challenges. Des, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I lost you for a second. I just refreshed.
Okay, yeah, because we ended up talking over each other at one point, so I was a
Yeah.
little concerned. Okay, we got bonus games and tournaments. Let's look at bonus games. Okay, so the mate and one puzzles are usually pretty easy. It's one move. It's not hard to see it most of the time. When they get to mate in 4 or 5, those are the puzzles that can be a little bit harder. Can you see the mate when it's that far away? So let me pull up one of the mate and ones to show you an example of pretty easy stuff. Press the A button to continue. Alright, so we are white to play and win. We have a bishop. And we have a rook. So yeah, that's really easy. Chess is a slow game. That was slow. The piece was dragging along the board, and it oh, it's check. Wait, no, it's checkmate. I have to think this through. Let me see if I have a better set of chess pieces, because I know that I don't like the glass. Stats, options. Okay.
This doesn't look good.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Oh God. Don't click the
Chess,
Xbox store because it
we're
just.
cursed. Chess is cursed.
I can change profile. I know I have more stuff, and I have other chess sets that this game came with, stats, but I apparently can't use them. So that's awesome. Let's try a harder one. Let's go to mate in 3. So this is where it's not a mate immediately, and you have to be able to think down the line a little bit. And 3 is usually reasonably challenging. So here we have the bishop is pinning him in, and also providing him no avenue of escape except backwards, while also being protected by the queen, which is attacking his bishop. We have a rook, which is threatening his pawn and other pawn, but we're not going to be worrying about that. The odds of us taking this pawn as part of that mate is incredibly low. We also have one more strong attacking piece, which is the knight. If we use the knight to advance, then he just takes our rook. So our first move is probably something that pulls our rook out of this and either gets us an advantage or opens the board up somehow. Or maybe it's just a sacrifice. We can also try something that puts the king into check by getting a discovered check. Pulling our bishop away here will put him under check by our queen. So if I bring the bishop back to here, that'll put him into check, and he'll have to move his bishop in to protect, or he'll move his king over 1. I don't know which he'll do. Actually, I do. He'll protect with his bishop, because otherwise he's in very serious trouble. It's mate and 2 at that point. So... Bishop here, bishop here. And that will allow me to protect my pawn, my rook with this if I pull the pawn up. No, that's too long. That's not going to work. But I think that is probably the correct first move. So let's see how it goes from there. Like if I sacrifice my queen right now, that'd be amazing if that worked. I don't think it does.
Pod, do
but
you
if I
have
take
a favorite chess game from ever? Your favorite chess video game?
And then it puts him under check. He'll have to take it with his recapture with his pawn, and that allows me to bring my rook in to put him under check here. But then he still has an escape route. So if it was the queen up here, nope, that's not going to do it either. Chess.com. He used to play a lot on Chess.com. I used to play online with a chess service called... so yeah, I played online with a chess club as well. It was a great experience, met a lot of people. They were a chess club that had a monthly fee back in the 90s, which is where I was playing most of my time there. So this was like dawn of the internet, and it was still a great experience. Which opens up a lane of attack that I didn't have before. And now I can do this, and that looks adequate, but not enough. I had made one more move there, but it's like, no, I don't need to. The deal was, you made me in 3 years, that doesn't count. So I need to try something different there. This looks good. It's not. It doesn't have to think about it when it's doing this, which means I must be close, right? That can't be right, because if I put it here to put the check on, he'll just capture. And I don't have anything else, so this isn't right. Stops to think about it this time. I didn't like it this time. Alright. Maybe if I do the capture now. Okay, that was probably not great. I get one more move and I don't have a mate. So yeah, 3 move mates, definitely trickier. 5 move mates, therefore even harder. And this is where, you know, it can really differentiate a person who is, you know, a good chess player from the best. Someone who is really, really good at chess could sit down and see this in almost no time. They'd be like, oh yeah, it's obvious.
Right.
So if I move my queen here, it gives him an out. I don't want to do that. Even though it does get my rook and queen aligned, which is a very powerful combination. His queen ends up being meaningless the way he's been playing it. I wonder if I can use that to my advantage somehow. Alright, no, sorry, the jazz has gotta go. Axe murderers or not.
Well, I didn't mean for you to turn the jazz on. It just made me realize I had learned that just this afternoon.
Really, I mean, of all your, serial killer stories, you didn't have that one laying around?
I didn't. It's really bad. I didn't even know that serial killer existed till today.
Well, I don't know if you heard me, because I think we had one of those audio glitches where it sort of popped out. That it was odd, this particular serial killer, because most serial killers suffer from compulsions towards their activities, that he had enough control over his compulsion to say, I want to do this thing that I shouldn't do, but I love jazz more.
Right?
And I need to share my love of jazz. It's just really
everyone. Bizarre. Well, and also, he doesn't have a preferred weapon. He didn't bring his weapon with him. A lot of them are real particular about that. Just kind of an odd killer all around, actually. Not that any serial killers are particularly normal, well-adjusted, you know.
On the scale of normal to serial killer, he was a serial killer plus.
Right, 211.
Alright. I'm probably just going to quit this one for now. Not because I think I can't solve it, but because I'm not going to be able to solve it in the context of what we're doing here. I'm going to go back and see if Byron has made his move. Talk maybe a little bit more. Nope, he's still waiting to move. And I was like, is this a guy who's a real person? Because that's a strange gamer tag.
He probably gets up every morning and checks his chesses. He has 32 going on.
Well, he can only have 6 in this version. Why? Why? Well,
yeah.
If you're gonna have correspondence chess, why are you limited it to 6 games? People have correspondence chess going on, and they have, a dozen or 32 games going at once. Why 6? Is it really that much memory space? Is it something about the servers? Byron Vidal sounds very rich.
Yeah, he does.
He has enough money to buy a gamer tag that has his actual name in it, unless he's not actually Byron.
Actually, his name is John Smith.
He's like, I need a better name if I'm going to play chess. People won't respect John Smith.
I need a chess
no one plays
name.
The Smith defense.
The Vidal defense.
Let's do a simpler mate in 2, somewhere in between. Because obviously that mate in 3 had me stumped. And this is one of the things about puzzles, right? Sometimes the puzzle is obvious, sometimes it's, oh, whoops. So... The queen is in a really good position here to mate him, protected by the knight, but the bishop's there, and can take it and eliminate that, so the knight could capture, but it wouldn't do you any good, even though that does give you a discovered check. So really the knight is in the way, so that may well be the escape route here. The problem is that if I just move my knight, his rook will take my queen. So that's our puzzle on this particular path. I don't want to take the pawns because I want to keep that pawn structure in place because it's going to cause him to have fewer escape routes. If I could find some way to put him in check with my knight, that'd be ideal. So I want to still protect my queen or take this rook. Conceptually, I've got this figured out. Practically, I have no idea what's going on, because I don't see any of those moves. And now you take my queen. And I'm like, well... Oh, Saint-Saëns. Aquarium. We got a classical song in for once. Two moves. Come on, it can't be that hard.
I'm just thinking about how painful Hearthstone is going to be.
Well, at least with Hearthstone, I know what the hell I'm doing. I mean, really, really know. Two-move chess puzzles? The whole purpose is you sit down and you puzzle it out. But yeah, this has got to be pretty painful. If I had someone to play with, maybe. Other than... Let me go play the monkey. The monkey's got to be better than this.
Yeah, go play the monkey. I'm excited.
The monkey, save us! Save the stream!
Since Byron is sleeping right now. He's off writing a poem about Prometheus.
And about how he's never gonna get in Lady Shelley's pants.
It's hard, you know. It's hard to be a romantic
now
poet.
I get to pick my pieces. I get to actually pick my pieces. Why do I get to do that only for my local game? Oh, I gotta show this one to my daughter. She loves owls. Halloween. Walkthroughs rob you of that awesome feeling when you have finally get it. That's one of the biggest problems with it. You know, it's let me give the story that sort of ties into this whole thing from way back when. Let's go with a nice classic set.
You know, we had a set growing up
go ahead.
similar to the Isle of Lewis set.
Was that one that I had there?
Yeah.
I remember seeing it. Isle of Lewis.
That one.
Okay.
We had it from Warwick Castle.
So let me talk to you about a really old game. That is one that Des and I have talked about elsewhere, and that is Eric the Unready. Eric the Unready is a... Wow, okay, yeah, you are in fact a monkey.
Oh, wow. So we misunderstood what they meant by monkey chess.
Well, I mean, his first move was fine. It's like, okay. Yes, I realize you put me in check. Congratulations.
Eric the Unready.
So Eric the Unready is a old adventure game. apparently that was an achievement. Oh, for the first achievement for putting him in check. Oh wow, that's an awful achievement. Why is that an achievement? Congratulations, you've maintained the basic. Ugh. Anyway, I'm really gonna have a hard time telling this Eric the Unready story. Eric the Unready is an adventure game from the late 80s, early 90s. And so, like adventure games from the late 80s and early 90s, it is, iffy.
Yeah.
What the hell is he doing?
The problem with those games is that it's all puzzle. That's the only mechanic, right? So if you get a puzzle that sucks, you could spend 75% of your game on one puzzle.
Yeah, easily. And you could never get it. So especially if you're a younger person, what the hell, monkey? Monkey's bad.
Well, I mean, he's a primate, okay? Good night.
But he knows how the pieces move! One could easily question how he knows how the pieces move at this point.
There's a Final Fantasy 15 mobile game. Yeah.
Wow.
I just got an ad for it on my phone.
Anyway, so one of the very early puzzles of Final Fantasy 15. Des, what are you doing to me?
I'm sorry. Let's talk about Final Fantasy 9 and how it's the best Final Fantasy.
I need to finish this Eric the Unready story, otherwise we're
no one
never gonna
cares about your Eric the Unready story. People would much rather hear how Final Fantasy 9 is the best Final Fantasy. Alright, tell your story.
Oh, see, this is actually me being a monkey for a change. I saw that as soon as I did it. It's like, well, here's what I get for not playing very well. So Eric the Unready, one of the earliest puzzles in the game is that you have to collect a collection of mixtures from basically a medicine cabinet and use them to get past various puzzles. And one of the puzzles is there's a tree in your way. And so the solution to the puzzle is if you take the glass of soda, the root beer that you've collected, and you pour the root beer over the tree's roots. And the tree gets drunk and pulls the roots up and lets you pass. And I'm like 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get it. Not that I don't understand the concept of drunkenness, but I don't understand how that's a game mechanic. And it's so bad that there was no chance I was ever going to figure that out. So I eventually had to look it up, and this was, pre-internet walkthroughs. So looking it up was difficult. But eventually I figured out what was going on, because I got help. The problem was, as much as I needed that help to get through that, just to have any chance of making some sense of the game, as soon as I had that as an option, didn't go back. I played through the rest of the game, and the solutions were always so easily to hand that it did rob me a little bit of the satisfaction on any of those other puzzles that were tough enough to slow me down, but not tough enough that I couldn't have figured out. I just don't know which ones they are anymore, because I didn't do them. And that's a problem for me in that sense, but it's also I can't tell where the line is. So when I'm playing these games now, which one of these games has the moment where, okay, that's an acceptable level of difficulty, and which ones are problems? Apparently that was my rook the entire time.
For me, it's when I'm no longer entertained. At that point, I don't care. So, like... whatever my tolerance level is for whatever the particular puzzle or mechanic is, once I hit my tolerance level, I'll look it up and I don't care. When I'm no longer being entertained, then whatever. I don't care. And that's kind of my personal thing. And at that point I don't feel robbed because the game is actually robbing me of enjoyment, time, brain power, whatever. So I'm just like, forget it. Don't care. But I'm not big into puzzles. So for me, usually what happens is I'll be playing another type of game that'll have a puzzle in it. And maybe it's not a good one, or maybe I'm just not ready for it. And it's just driving me crazy. There was one in Persona 5, which is not a puzzle game. All of a sudden there's a puzzle lever. We're in space. You're getting sucked through vacuums from one part of a spaceship to another. And you have to turn these alpha and omega symbols because some of the vacuums will light up and not. And so you have to turn them on and off and on and off to get the right ones to light up so you can go through the right holes. It's like a maze. And I about had
This
it.
is the worst
with
mate
that.
I've ever seen. I'm so not playing this right.
It didn't take me long to be tired of that, but because I was already halfway through it, I didn't even pick up a walkthrough because I'd already messed up the levers I don't know how many times. So I just had to tough it out.
So that was 2 more achievements. I got a double check and then a checkmate. That was
that's
really
pretty good.
So that's something. But that was an ugly, ugly game. I did not play that particularly well, leaving my queen open that badly. But yeah, so well, apparently I decided to replay it. I did not mean to do that. Let's play the monkey one more time. So there is definitely that aspect of it's not very for time to do something different, look something up, but you didn't. Why didn't you at least take the pawn? Crazy thing. And that's what it comes down to. It is personal, but there's also certain games where it makes more sense than others. You look through a walkthrough for a game like Halo. Why would you bother? What's the point?
Do they have them?
Sure.
I mean,
and it's actually somewhat useful for me because I'm so bad at shooters. I'm at the second level of Halo 3, and I'm like, okay, I have no clue what the hell I'm supposed to be doing here. I understand. I pick up the gun, I shoot the enemies. I got that. What am I doing wrong? I'm playing on casual. I can't shoot them. I'm out of ammo. Where on the map is more ammo?
What
I don't know if it's casual. It's the lowest difficulty.
Okay. It's just gonna be like, you've got to be kidding me.
So Ypod says that he thinks with Halo it's fine. It's not a good thing if difficulty gets in the way of enjoying the story, characters, or seeing cool environments, etc. Right, if you were at a point where the story doesn't progress unless you use a walkthrough, use a walkthrough. That's a story. For chess, you're absolutely right, though. Because he says chess, the whole purpose of a chess puzzle is that it's the puzzle. If you can't do the puzzle, what's the point? Well, if the point is the achievements, then you have the metagaming problem, which, yeah, it's a thing. When there is a reward behind a thing, and the solution is, well, you can just legally cheat to get it, people are going to do it. Whether or not those people are doing anything wrong or anything that is even, cheating themselves out of the experience is the question. I think they're cheating themselves out of the experience, but is it an experience that they even want? You know?
I don't think I would use a walkthrough in a puzzle game, but then again, I wouldn't play a puzzle game. So, it's just like... I very rarely am in the mood for puzzles, aside from logic puzzles.
Also, my bishop. I don't want to lose my bishop. He's unprotected. Thank you very much. You go ahead and retreat. I will capture here, like that. And then I will capture here like that. Also, I didn't have protection where I thought I did. I completely left that pawn on that poor piece on wide open. That was a bad move. I blame that on not seeing the position. My chat is still covering up some of the board. I thought my queen was elsewhere, but that's hilarious. Let's get the rook in.
It's our fault. It's our fault.
Thank you.
So what are you using a walkthrough on Halo for? Finding achievements or...
So, there's a couple things you can use a walkthrough for Halo 4. And by for Halo 4, I don't mean Halo 4, the video game, but for Halo.
Mm-hmm.
I think to use a walkthrough for was like, Oh! That's... not good. That's a sad face. Thank you, iPod.
Wow.
I thought that was something else, obviously. Let's clean this up, though. I don't, if I wanted to, I got the rook. I got all I need. And especially since he's gone that way. He could have protected this pawn. Let's clean up the pawns, and if I want to, I can just mate him with the rook and the king.
Some of the musical selections have been surprisingly decent. Well, the last time you jumped from 1 to 3, you didn't do so well. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah,
Just
that's
gonna
true.
toss it
it
out.
went from that was easy to, well, I'm screwed. So let's see, you know.
You're asking a lot from a chess game.
Well, they charged a lot for it, so that's the thing. This game
Did
was
they?
it's $15 to $20. I bet Byron Vidal lives in a penthouse like that.
He probably does.
Yeah, he probably does.
Either that or he lives in a thinking rowboat. He cries a lot.
A van. You know, Queen is a very powerful piece, but that's how you win at speed chess in the the games down at the park. You bring out your queen early. But that gets me a knight on an outpost. Oh, I'm on check if I do that, so I need to get castled quick. Now I'll exchange one bad move for one of his. I still had on the whole, my bad moves were better than his bad moves.
Alright, just as a measure of success, it's not great.
That's fair. Yeah, see, he had to do something like that, which was kind of crazy. Because now that guy's clean. Long term, definitely better for me there.
Alright, good luck.
Probably stronger
My
moves
husband
there,
needed food.
well, eating is a necessity.
Apparently 11:40 at night was too late for dinner. And I can't eat normal food yet, so
You can't
I
eat
was
normal
kind of
food
like,
yet? What happened?
This is a you problem.
Oh, is this... Oh, from your illness, right.
So I had food poisoning, and apparently you can't. You have food restrictions for 72 hours after your last incident because the lining of the stomach has to rebuild itself. And you like literally cannot digest certain things like dairy, fat. You can't eat fiber. Can't eat dairy, fat, fiber, or sugar. Any of those things. Which is, I mean, it's a pretty decent chunk of the food pyramid.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I should not have done that. That's what I was trying to avoid the whole time. Oh, Crow, you idiot. Let's go promote.
Apparently, Facebook shut down one of its AIs. because it invented a system of code to make communication more efficient that the people who study it could not understand. They had no idea what it was doing. But the AI could interpret it. I guess they were afraid they were making Skynet.
Well, they probably should be.
They probably already made it. It's probably too late to shut it down. It probably has a contingency plan.
I know you're onto me.
They're like, it's just like we discussed, boys.
Son of a gun, the exact same thing! Apparently, that's a formation that I really am not very good at. God, I can't believe I did that.
Is there a digital diplomacy?
Yes,
really
I've played
be.
it online. Yeah, there definitely needs to be more, but it is available. I have played it, there's a website dedicated to it that I've played with my friends. But you have to basically create a Gmail account specifically for it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you need your own group of 7, basically.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because that you wouldn't want it where you had to bring your own group, because so few people have people who will still play diplomacy with them.
Yeah, because people who play diplomacy tend not to have people who will play diplomacy with them any longer. Ypod says there was a version of diplomacy he tried to play via Facebook, or he thought it was one through Facebook, but he never tried playing it. Facebook would make a lot of sense, but I can't imagine that it would be automated in any way. It's still probably people just, plotting it out with paper and backstabbing themselves through personal messages. But yeah, diplomacy is a game that really probably should have a video game aspect built somehow. So I have a ton of stuff, I just have to make sure I don't stalemate him somehow. So if I put my knight here, that would actually be a stalemate, because then he couldn't have a legal move. If I move my pawn first, he'll have to move back, and then I can check him. But I don't know how I'm actually going to mate him from here, so it's a little tricky. So here I have to be really super careful about not mating him, about not stalemating. Because again, if I advance the pawn, he has nowhere he can move. If I advance the rook 1 square, he has nowhere he can move. If I just sacrifice my knight, it does me no good. Ah, there we go, check.
If you have Amazon
I know
Prime,
I
you
can
can
freaking
watch
do this with just
Pawn
my king and my
Sacrifice.
rook. Just do it with the king and the rook.
It's a newish
Old school.
chess movie.
Insane is it that I, like, please take my material. Just make it easier on me. I had the knight, I had the pawn, and it was worse trying to mate him than with just the rook and the king. That's insane. Ugh. Anyway. That's chess. I have to say...
What's the lesson you should take away from that? That having tons of troops is worse than having...
the right ones.
All of the right ones. There you go.
But that's a good lesson for war. But it's not. I had the right ones. It's just the bad ones were getting in the way. They were actually getting in the way.
So you should just murder your incompetent troops. That's the lesson.
No, not your incompetent troops. Anyone who is subpar, you kill them off. It's called eugenics. We've tried it. It works. It's just horribly, horribly immoral.
Well, this is good. Oh God.
Is that the same as Trump's military policy? No, that would only.
Does he have one?
Our troops are trans. Well, he had the military policy
Too
or troop
soon,
policy.
Sorry.
So here's the thing, that whole promoting my pawn to a queen, that is not acceptable in Trump's military. We know that.
Well, yeah, not if the pawn was a boy when it was born.
You can't be a queen. You can't do it. No. I'm a little disappointed in the what you have. I mean, what do you expect in a chess game? You expect chess puzzles. You expect online play. You expect offline play against some computers. You expect maybe some tournaments. This has that. But it does a pretty poor job of it, in my opinion. The controls to actually change a lot of the things don't seem to be very intuitive or even available. Some of the features that I thought I had purchased don't seem to be here. Like, I thought I had a lot more chess sets that I can apparently only use when I play online. In terms of reviews, this is not going to get a glowing one. But it is chess, so it's a board game, and the achievements are, fun. Go get an achievement for putting a guy in check. Good job. And a number of the other achievements are also ridiculously easy. There are plenty that are tougher. You have to get your chess rating up to 1,000. I played against computer opponents that were 133 and 300. Not so great. But yeah, there's definitely something to be said, as Ypod's commenting about the relaxation factor of just smashing someone else who is nowhere near as good as you at chess. Even when I get to like, you know what, it doesn't matter. I made this horrible mistake. Don't care. You still can't beat me. I'll give you my queen. You can't beat me. And that's something I did when I was playing chess in high school. We were part of a chess club, and the better players would spot players' material from the very beginning. Usually a knight or a bishop, or if it was close enough, just a pawn or two, to help keep it interesting and balance out the game. With the pawn sacrifices, it was also interesting because which pawn you gave up also really affected how the game went. Oh, the sounds and visuals are relaxing. I took that a different direction, didn't I?
Well,
I'll
I
also
knew that's
say
what
this.
you meant,
the game is...
because you and I aren't sociopaths.
Apparently, yes.
Unlike somebody.
My final comment on it is that this game lacks any of the variant of chess games. And I wasn't expecting that, but it'd be one of those things where it'd be nice for it to have a variant. Something like Kasparov's chess, where all of your non-pawn pieces are placed in a random order. So, depending on how the randomness goes, your lineup could be amazing or terrible, and it just completely breaks all of your standard openings. You still want to play for the middle, but you don't know how the pieces move from their things. All opening chess books are gone. But because it is random, it's not balanced anymore. One player definitely has a stronger advantage, and white also has the advantage of going first. So in that variant, white usually wins by an even stronger majority. It doesn't have Socrates' chess, which, at least I don't think it does. I haven't seen it. That's another game that is solved. White wins, but it's a lot of fun to play. Because if you don't know that white wins, you haven't figured it out, it's fun to play around with it. The sounds are nice when you're not in the bad jazz section. The visuals are good, but again, I think that when we get to Chess Ultra, I think it did it better. But Puri was on the market first, so Puri is what we played.
And next it's
And I've had enough of that.
Jin. Is that what we're doing? Jin?
Yeah, if we're gonna,
No,
we'll do
or
one
Marvel.
more we'll do one more Marvel, I think, unless you can convince me to do something else, because you're at level 10 and it'd be boring for you. But I think that we'll still be able to have fun with that. One more run through of Marvel. See if we can get you a character that isn't level 10, but probably even if Solek's at level 10, we'll just carry along and you smash up boxes and gather loot, and it'll be fun.
Look, that's all I care about anyway, smashing boxes.
Yeah, there you go. The XP doesn't matter to you. The
I
fact that you don't do damage doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter to me because it's so easy. That's because you never made it past the second screen.
Right. Well, there were so many boxes or bricks or something.
Yeah, rocks and sidings. So that's another reason why we need to do Bastion, so that I can get you past that distraction. You're like, but you need to smash those things. I'm like, no,
it'll
it's
just
fine.
infuriate me. I'll be like, no. You're leaving all these boxes.
But that's another time. So while we still have you on gold, we'll do, I think, one more Marvel. Probably do that Tuesday. And then maybe something else Tuesday night as well.
Oh, no.
And then Tuesday's bad for you?
I have to go to dinner on Tuesday, so it's probably fine if we do it
just after you get back from dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to shoot for 9, because doing it this late is not ideal, but if 10 is necessary, we'll do 10 Tuesday. And we'll do one more run of Marvel, and then maybe a little something extra on the end as well, kind of like we did here tonight. It ended up being an hour of chess that was not my best hour of chess, but, I don't think it was pure chess's best hour of chess either, honestly.
We'll just
and then, our next backwards
problems.
compatible game, it's better than, Fun Town Mahjong. The next backwards compatible game that we're going to hit is Gin Rummy. And Gin Rummy is a great game that I played in my grandparents' kitchen for probably hundreds of hours. It's going to be fun for me. Even if the game itself isn't very complicated, it's just it's a fun game. So, thank you for stopping by.
It should be something not to mess up.
Yeah, if I start messing up Gin Rummy, you really... here's the thing. I was playing Hearthstone earlier today, and I was making some really bad moves. Like, I did this thing, I'm not even going to tell you what it was, but I killed a creature that had a death rattle effect, and I didn't expect its death rattle effect to go off. And I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? I know that makes no sense to you at all, but this is one of those super obvious game interactions that if you've played the game for half an hour, you know what's going to happen. And it just happened. I was like, I didn't expect that. I didn't think it through. I've not been on my gaming ball at all today. I've made a lot of little mistakes on a lot of things I've been playing, so it makes me wonder if I'm just not sleeping right or something, or if it's just one of those days where things don't work right. Either way, I still beat those bad chess players, even when I made those mistakes.
Good job.
Even if I couldn't solve that mate in 3 puzzle. Tomorrow when I come back, I'll solve it no problem, I'm sure of it. But tonight, with the pressure on, I just wasn't there. Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
To a lot of guys.
Yeah, especially this time of their lives.
Yeah. Once you're past 30,